I'm just gonna keep it running. I'm just gonna keep it running.
Okay,
You know?
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. What's your questions?
What are your hair goals as a stylist?
At this point right now,
Yes, now and from when you were younger. Do you think you've hit any of your goals?
oh, definitely.
Yeah?
I definitely have hit many of my goals. When I was a stylist, a young stylist, meaning I started when I was, I started when I was about 15, 16. And at that time, my desire and my goal was just to be good. You know, I wanted to be great.
Yes.
So I did all that I could do at that time to kind of achieve that. I took in a lot of imagery. I went to the States as much as I could for hair shows. I got involved in hair shows. I got involved in competitions. Yeah, you name it, I have done it. And I think in the very beginning, just because of the way that I got into the industry, myself and my cousin he was a barber,
Okay.
and I was doing hairstyling, and I would have people come to our garage. I transformed the garage into a salon, and it got busy. And people would come in, bring these magazines, show me a hairstyle that they want. And at the time, it was a particular time, it was kind of like in the reggae dancehall scene. The styles were extremely elaborate, things that you wouldn't necessarily wear on the road, but in the dancehall scene, it was perfectly acceptable, and that was the cultural norm. So because of that, and that was most of the people that were coming to me at the time, the pictures that they were showing me that they wanted, I had absolutely no clue how to do them. Like, no clue. I had nobody to ask, nobody to guide me, no one to, instruct me. You show me the picture, and I'll bust my brain trying to figure out how to do it. And I mean, even if it took 3, 4, 5 hours on that one person, whoever was next, they just patiently sat and wait. And that's just kind of how it was. Like, they just knew that you go to Mike, you go to Mikhail, and you're gonna stay there all day, sometimes all evening, and I'll just sit there and just make it happen. And that was just normal for me. That's just all I knew, and it was the creation that kind of, that I got something out of, at the end, to look at it and be like, wow, I did that,
Transformation.
Yeah. And then when I actually got into a salon, and I started to, rent a chair in a salon, because obviously outgrew the garage, obviously outgrew the home, having people come into the home all the time. So we ended up renting a chair in a salon. There was a girl who was renting a chair right next to me, and somebody sat in her chair and said, her name was Michelle. She said, Michelle, I want to do this. She showed her a picture. And Michelle said, okay, choose something different. I can't do that. When she said that, I was like, what? You can even say that? I was never really around people. I was never in the salon environment. I didn't know. I didn't even think that you could say no, or think that you can say you can't do that. It's like, you show me, and it's like, that's what I have to do. And I didn't know any different. Yeah. So I'd make up any creative thought that would come to my mind, how to make it happen. I would make it happen. I've done crazy stuff. I've taken socks, I've taken paper towels, I've taken all kind of stuffed it inside the hair. I've done so many crazy things. Go ahead.
So is that the mindset that you have to this day?
That's the mindset I have to this day, because that's what I was cultivated in. I was cultured in that kind of environment that I created for myself, not knowingly, So many of the co-op students that I started to have after I, went to school, got my license, and I started to be in the salon and started to train co-op students, because I started doing that right away. And then I realized I love teaching. What I would do is, people who were helping me or assisting me, if something was missing, I would say crazy stuff like, just go. It's like, but we don't have any. I said, just go back there and find it, create it. Like, what do you mean create it? Like, make it happen, but we have none left. I was like, you really mean I have to stop doing what I'm doing and go over there? Because I bet you if I go, I'm gonna find something. and I'll make it work. I'll make it happen. Like the person wants their hair dyed red and there's no red hair dye, what are you gonna do? I don't know, I'm gonna make it happen somehow. And for whatever reason, it was just a mindset that is like, there's no problem. There is no problem.
The will is a way.
There has to be a way.
Eliminate all problems.
And no, there is no problem.
Okay.
That was just the mindset that I just approached it with,
Yeah.
you know? So, you know, the ones who kind of like, some of the assistants
Yeah.
that I've had that kind of went with the flow with that, they realized after a while, like, holy crow, like, you seriously made that happen. Like, you know?
So do you think that separated you as a stylist?
Definitely. Definitely. I think it's also hard being a stylist because when we say hair, back in the days, we used to say hairdresser, right? And it became obvious that I was not a hairdresser, I was a hairstylist. People would be going to their hairdressers regularly, and when they had a special occasion, they would come to the hairstylist,
Okay.
you know? And the person who was regularly doing their hair, they would get styles from them, but when they really wanted a style, they really wanted something, they would come to me. So meaning they'll wait the hours it took, they'll whatever they have to do, they'll do it, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got good. So what's the goal now for you? What's the next step as
The-
a hairstylist?
As a hairstylist, because I love so much the creative aspect of hairstyling, in so many different ways, and now hairstyling and barbering, you know, I constantly love to try and learn new things and get better, you know. So in terms of the creative aspect of it, in terms of the actual technical aspect of it, I always strive to do better and learn. But in terms of the actual industry, at this point, my passion is still behind the chair, but it's extended greatly towards students, educating, teaching, inspiring, anything along those lines. Yeah, like in a big way. Yeah, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your army of hairstylists.
What's that?
Your army of hairstylists.
Yes. I love people to do well and to continue to learn and to continue to grow. Yeah, that's what I'm passionate about.